It's so incredibly difficult when you're in a defensive state to step back and witness, oh yes, I'm in a defensive state, and I really need to look at this and take a deep breath and respond with wisdom or compassion. And so what are some practices to sort of recognize as close to the moment as possible when it starts, those reactive states, that we can just look at, that we can keep being aware of on a regular basis?
Well, the first one you've already done, and it just needs to be highlighted, which is a self-compassion practice, which is, it's so difficult to be aware of my aggressive states. And that can be done tonally, with a certain tone of voice, in so many different levels. And if throughout the day we have that as a guiding voice, where we're aware enough that, number one, we have a defense structure, we remember that, and number two, we're aware enough to recognize that it's a very, very worthy foe. That it's not one that's easily witnessed or able to find caring while it's happening. So you might say at first, it's so difficult. And then you might go, it's so difficult. And then you might go, it is so difficult. And then you might be just, oh, it is really, really difficult. And what starts to happen is a merciful awareness starts to emerge that recognizes, I'm not doing it on purpose. This isn't my conscious intention. I'm unwittingly doing this. And so there's plenty of space to have it happen and still have mercy and kindness and tenderness coexist. So what's the response?
Just how pure intention can be obscured by defenses, so easily.
Yeah. And what I sense is the longing in you with the tears, the longing to be able to be kinder towards yourself while you're out of control. And that you really want to be able to find a place to not just have to get over the criticism, which is what your tendency would be, but actually to learn how to maturely have a kind voice even when your defenses are activated. And so that's the first practice, is really a self-compassion practice that is recognizing that this is not only difficult now, it's probably going to be difficult for your whole life. That this is definitely a lifelong practice. And if I can move from 1 or 2 or 3 or 5% awareness with kindness to 50 or 60, I'm going to just be really in good shape. And it's going to allow me to be harmless and then ultimately kind, and the healing is going to be quicker. And even if I catch it 10 minutes later or an hour later, it's still of great benefit. So then, in addition to that, you can plant seeds that are like prayers, that are saying, may I be aware of this tendency to defend myself and do it without, and seeing that I do it without awareness. May I be aware that this is my tendency. I want to be aware is a suggestion. May I be aware is a prayer, an internal suggestion in prayer as a perpetual condition. We can do that all day long. It's like we have free commercials inside our psyche, and we can plant those seeds. And then the last practice that really can be beneficial is to ask yourself through your intelligence, that really something that I would call more like an inquiry, is may I have the observance to see where I'm most easily triggered and with whom, so I can have the warning signal set up. And so I'm not shocked. When so-and-so comes in my world, I'm much more likely to need these other warnings. And so may I be on a caring alert when this person or this set of conditions arise. Now, when I say set of conditions, I'm not only talking about a person. It might also be that you recognize, you know what, if I get a lousy night's sleep, I'm more likely to be in my defense structure. And so may I be aware when I get a lousy night's sleep. Or if I wake up and I go on the phone and I'm trying to talk to somebody about a pharmacy issue or a technological issue, and I'm on hold for 2 hours and I'm irritated, may I recognize that I'm much more prone to be in my defense structure. So the inquiry would be there saying, may I notice both the people that are difficult, and may I notice the emotional states that are precursors to my defense structures being triggered, and then give myself a warning. Be alert here. You might be much more likely, you are much more likely to be in your defense structure, and you know that's not what you want. So the combination of recognizing it's difficult, prayers, suggestions, and inquiries are all ways to help guide you to be much more aware of the aggression and the defense structure, and lead you to a kind, merciful awareness to fulfill the longing to really want to love and be a compassionate influence in the world.